Over the last couple of weeks, Bitcoin has shown immense strength, with the larger timeframe uptrend still very much intact. However, Bitcoin is now challenging the 25,000 to 25,200 macro major uptrend resistance once more. This resistance needs to break for Bitcoin to flip its macro trend towards the upside. However, we have seen multiple pullbacks from this level in the past, and with decreasing momentum and volume at this resistance, a pullback is definitely still likely. When will we see a pullback? How high can Bitcoin go before a pullback occurs? And what will we need to see for a clean break and confirmed break above this level to occur? Let's go ahead and jump in. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning into today's video. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. There is absolutely no doubt that the price action has been sporadic and choppy. We've seen large swings and fake outs toward the upside above 25k and down a few times now, and it's getting quite intense. However, if you zoom out, the picture becomes very clear. We are still at major resistance. We've had no large wicks above that major resistance, and we've had yet a close over that major resistance on any time frame. This indicates resistance is very much still in play, and therefore rejections and pullbacks are still likely. However, we're going to be discussing today's video about what will it take for a confirmation of a breakout to occur, and what will it take for a confirmation of a rejection to occur. We'll also discuss the short-term price action, market data, and of course the broader markets. Before we get into it, smash the like button, hit the comment button, and subscribe to the channel for daily videos on Bitcoin, technical indicators, obviously a whole range of additional stuff such as economic data and the broader markets as well. Before we get stuck into it, smash the like button, hit that comment button, subscribe to the channel for more information. You can also find us on Telegram. This is our Telegram channel. You'll get access to all videos, updates, charts, analysis, educational posts, news events, and more. If you're interested in our VIP channel, you can join our trading channel where we post daily trade signals with specific entries, targets, stop losses, such as this Bitcoin trade over here. You can see all the membership information and trading track record over here. You'll get also access to our group chat with all of our VIP members. Let's get into it, starting off with the market data for Feb. What are we looking at? Let's take a look. 7.98% in the green for Feb currently. Again, not a very intense month, but Feb has been a month of a lot of slow grind upwards. I'll call it a slow grind upwards with a lot of chop. We've seen that rally to 25k, and we've been bouncing around 25k for now quite some time, unable to make a directional decision, even though the markets are really starting to take that turn toward the downside. We're seeing the traditional markets drop, we're seeing the DXY drop, we're seeing volume, and we're seeing volatility fall, yet Bitcoin is still hanging on at that 25k resistance. In the last 24 hours, 43% in the negative for liquidations, and volume is down 8.5%. Again, as we approach these resistance zones, we generally start to see a little bit more consolidation and compression in price action, and therefore we do generally see less trades occur. Looking at volatility, we're at 2.62%. I think this is up a little bit from yesterday's 2.58. And again, looking at liquidations, we've seen a nice spread between shorts and longs being liquidated everywhere. This is not a good sign for traders. This is indicating more of a sporadic and volatile market with wicks on either direction. Again, longs are funding the decreases and the shorts are funding these pumps, guys. Not the best time to be scalping. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the raw markets. The DXY has bounced from that support zone. It has found support and has closed that candle above it on the daily. It has now opened a new green candle above support, very, very likely to continue upwards here, according to this, above that 50 EMA, building strength in this current uptrend and very likely to continue. The next target is going to be 105. Again, the DXY rises, we can expect the stock market to continue toward the downside. Looking at the S&P 500 and Dow Jones, the Dow Jones is approaching that 50 EMA in that center of the symmetrical triangle. Again, losing the lower support of the symmetrical triangle will result in a continuation toward 33,000 or 32,000, breaking toward the upside, guys. A daily candle close above will result in a strong pump to 35 to 36,600. So keep your eyes on that. S&P 500 has broken toward the downside of its rising channel as well as lost its major support zone on the daily and is looking very bearish. We're looking like we're heading toward the downside here, creating a new low, dropping below this recent low and support. It does look like our next target is going to be closer to that $4,000 range. Expect the S&P 500 to continue toward the downside over the next couple of days unless the support range can be reclaimed immediately. And bond yields are on the rise again, breaking above 4.6 and continuing very slightly upwards, a good indication that the DXY is going to continue upwards and stocks are going to continue to fall. As you would know, guys, when the stock market does pull back, Bitcoin does have an increased probability of pulling back, and therefore the bias right now should still be 25k of strong resistance, and the possibility of a rejection at 25k is still very much possible. So definitely something to look into. Now, we're going to be discussing the macro really quickly, and then we'll hammer it down to the smaller time frame and discuss the short-term price action. So, starting on Bitcoin price over here, I wanted to briefly interrupt today's video to discuss my favorite exchange, Bitget. If you're looking for a safe, honest, reliable, and accurate exchange, look no further than Bitget. You can sign up by the link in the description to support the channel and get access to 3 exclusive perks. That being up to $5,005 in trading rewards, up to 15% discount on your trading fees, and exclusive access to our MegaWhale promotion campaigns that we run every few months. Alongside that, guys, Bitget is a non-KYC exchange, meaning you do not have to KYC. It is completely optional. Bitget also has a protection fund that secures user assets against external hacks and threats in the space. Alongside that, guys, Bitget offers up to 125x leverage on futures with extensive amount of trading pairs and liquidity on the market. I highly recommend signing up to Bitget. It is the exchange I've been using for over a year and a half now, including all of our members. If you're interested in signing up, trading there, and supporting the channel, you could do so with the link in the description. Thanks for listening. I'm going to delete everything. Now, the chart is very complicated, especially when we go to a smaller time frame. It gets a little complicated just because of how volatile and sporadic the price action has been. There's so many different mixed signals. So we'll start on a larger time frame. 2 things. Number 1, the only 2 things you need to be paying attention to is here. Horizontal resistance, 25,200. We are currently under that horizontal resistance. Immediately above the horizontal resistance, we see the volume range drops off, okay? The strength of this VRPV drops off, indicating a low resistance range. Therefore, we know that 25,200 is the major horizontal trigger for a continuation of the price upward, okay? That is point number 2. Point number 2 is the larger time frame, so the daily, the 2-day, the 3-day, the weekly, the trend is still upward, right? We are still in a uptrend. So the current larger time frame trend is still up, but we are at macro resistance, and therefore the short-term time frame is going to be showing weakness. Now, will that weakness develop into a rejection? That is what we've been talking about over the last couple days. That's kind of the whole premise of our videos of the last few days. It doesn't mean the uptrend's gone. No, we've been saying this uptrend is still intact, but it is showing weakness, and when we start to see weakness occur at major resistance, the probability of a pullback or a rejection starts to increase the longer that weakness is shown and expressed on the charts. That is something we're looking for. Now, we also know when it comes to major resistances, we do generally see large liquidations before continuations in price. Therefore, the probability that we're going to see a rally slightly over this level before a strong reaction toward the downside is also possible. So we are going to be talking about that today, as well as the short term, the likelihood of a rally upwards before a rejection rather than just a straight rejection. So those are the 2 really important things we want to be looking at on the large time frame right now. If you're looking at absolutely anything, keep it simple, keep it stupid, looking at these levels. Major horizontal resistance here. The trend is still upwards, okay? And the volume range is suggesting this is not only a major resistance, but also a major trigger, and therefore if we get above it on the larger time frame, the trend will continue upwards. Until then, the short term is starting to show weakness. We have larger wicks towards the upside. We're starting to see momentum and volume drop off on the smaller time frame, suggesting this is going to be acting as a major ejection point until it is broken above. So now that we know that, it kind of simplifies the narrative in the market right now, okay? So let's talk about this line over here and talk about why it's so important. let's talk about what we need to see for a confirmed breakout, and then we'll get into this area here and talk about the short term and talk about the probability of a rejection and continuation downwards. So why is 25,000/25,200 so significant? If we're looking at this chart here, we can see that the 25,200 on the larger time frame on the weekly chart is representing the 200 EMA, the 200 moving average, of this chart over here. The 200 moving average is obviously a moving average, which is a very slow moving average, represents the overall trend, whether an uptrend, a weak uptrend, a downtrend, a weak downtrend, or a strong uptrend or a strong downtrend. What it is representing here, it is representing we are in a strengthening, or should I say a weakening downtrend. Technically, we are still in a downtrend. The macro uptrend has not started. The macro uptrend or the uptrend initiates or develops above the 200. So breaking above the 200 will trigger an initiation of a macro uptrend. That happens above 25,200. So if this is a weekly chart and the 200 is on the weekly, what do we need to see? We need to see a weekly candle close above 25,200 to confirm a breakout of that range and continuation upwards. Going back to this chart here, a weekly candle close above 25,200 will therefore confirm a breakout of this entire range. We have spent a very long time under, guys. We've been 252 days now underneath this level. So a weekly candle close is going to be what it takes to confirm a breakout. If a breakout occurs, we're going to see a strong continuation toward the upside to our next resistance zone, which is sitting between 30,000 guys and 28,000. Keep it simple, keep it stupid. Why is 28,000 to 30,000 so important? Going back to our larger time frame chart. This chart this time. Looking at prior cycles, these yearly lows of prior bull markets represented by these horizontal red lines. Okay, I'm going to circle on the side over here as well. These are the points of which trigger a continuation into a bull market. Every time we close a monthly candle above these yearly lows, we trigger a continuation that eventually develops into a bull market. You can see every single time we close a monthly candle above it, we never, ever, ever close a monthly candle back below it. Where is that time? This is going to be 28 to 30,000 on the chart this time. So the continuation of a weekly candle above 25,200 will result in a push up to the yearly bull market low, represented by the price range of 28 to 30,000 on a chart, this red box, which if we close a monthly candle above, will confirm a bull market is developing and will start from that point onwards. Very important stuff. Now 25,200 is the trigger for all of this. That is why it is so important. Now, we've talked a lot about that, talked about the macro. Now, until we break above that point, we do have to be aware that this area is major resistance. I know I've been hammering on now about 25k being resistance before we even reached it. I've been talking about 25k being resistance when we broke out of this area. Remember 25 to 26, 25 to 23.6 was our target for a move upwards since this breakout. We reached that area. This has been a target, an area we've been talking about for a very long time now. It's a very important range, but until we break over it, it is now still resistance. And when something is a resistance, we do have to have a plan or an expectation that resistance is going to act as a resistance and a rejection could occur. So going to the smaller time frame, we use that smaller time frame to talk about what are the probability rejection is going to occur and when will it actually trigger. And currently on the smaller time frame, we've seen a lot, and I mean a lot, of attempts to break toward the downside, but failures all around. Just yesterday, guys, we saw a first break below that Gaussian channel on that hourly, suggesting that uptrend was very much weakening. Instead, we saw a consolidation upwards. We saw that rally towards the upside. Again, basically deleting or ignoring the fact that we've broken down towards the Gaussian channel. We saw that weakness in a trend. We saw a rally towards the upside. Bitcoin is now consolidating in this upward trending pattern over here, suggesting that one more wick toward the upside or another rally towards the upside is definitely possible. So what I'm expecting on a smaller time frame now, guys, is a possible rally into and above this range here. So this is a major rejection zone, okay? Anything above here is going to be resistance and rejection. Above our 25.2 to 25.8 is going to be major resistance where we're looking for liquidation wicks. If we see any sort of rally into this range, we're going to be expecting shorts to take favor and liquidations wicks to occur before moves toward the downside. That is what I'm expecting on a smaller time frame. Looking at this diagonal resistance over here, my expectation is we're going to see some sort of retest of this trend line before we see a rally back toward the downside, which could trigger a liquidation above this major horizontal resistance on the larger time frame, where a lot of stop orders are going to be placed for shorts, and then it's going to continue toward the downside, guys. I'm definitely eyeing that out as a possibility on the smaller time frame. But let's do a quick analysis on a small time frame, talk about how the technicals are looking, starting on a slightly larger time frame. Let's go back to the daily chart and build it down. Okay, looking at our moving averages. So we'll go ahead and bring up our market cipher A again. You can see, guys, we're still very much in an uptrend. Like I said, there's been no doubt we're in an uptrend. We're above the 50 MA, the prices of the smaller moving average. This is very much an uptrend. We've been in an uptrend for quite some time now, okay? The Gaussian channel, again, we've been in an uptrend for quite some time. We're still above the Gaussian channel on the daily. We're still very much in a higher time frame uptrend. But again, guys, the larger time frame moving averages are lagging. They're not going to be able to predict a reversal from this horizontal resistance. We do need to go down to smaller time frames and assess how the technicals are looking, how the price actions are responding to this resistance, and then seeing if any short-term weakness will then extend and develop to a larger time frame, causing a larger time frame rejection. Okay, now that is what we're looking at here on the daily. If we're looking at momentum indicators now, we're going to go ahead and bring up our MACD. We can see on the MACD over here on the daily, we are starting to see a little bit of weakness coming in. We can see an overall decrease here in the strength of momentum while we are rising in price. Again, we're starting to see some divergences at resistance, which goes to tell us that we are starting to see some weakness in this uptrend on the daily in regards to how probable the probability that a continuation upwards is going to occur. If we go to the RSI, guys, on a daily, we should be seeing quite similar things popping up. So let's bring up that RSI. We can see decreasing RSI again whilst the price is at resistance, again indicating we are starting to see some weakness here on the daily, again suggesting consolidation and compression at resistance and a decrease of the probability that we are going to continue toward the upside over here. These are things we do have to be aware of, but overall this trend is very much upwards. Now as we approach a smaller time frame, this slightly starts to change. On a 12-hour chart, we can see that the MACD is starting to converge downwards. So even though we've had this rally from here upwards, this has been a rally that has been built on weakening positive momentum, okay? We've seen weakening positive momentum as we've seen this price rise to resistance. This is not something we like to see as we approach major resistance zones. If we break above the 25.2K in the larger time frame, all of this will flip back to bullish. But for now, we are starting to see short-term signs that weakness is occurring. And this is objective. This is in my opinion. I'd love to see Bitcoin smash through. Hell, I have Bitcoin since 16,500. I want to see Bitcoin smash through, but this is the reality. We can only go off the charts. So right now, we are still seeing that occur. If we go down to a smaller time frame, a 4-hour chart, we can see again, we're starting to see weakness. We're seeing some positive momentum come through, right? We saw some positive momentum come through, but again, we are starting to see this positive momentum start to slowly depreciate and die off. That is definitely not something we're looking for when it comes to rallies. Going to the hourly chart, we can see that exact same thing occurring over here, guys. We are still technically having positive momentum, but we have glimmers of weakness, of negative momentum over here every few couple hours, every few couple of days. We are starting to see this trend all in all losing strength. Now, that is another reason why I do expect us to see this liquidation wick upwards, a liquidity grab upwards, create some liquidity in the market, fill some orders, and then come back toward the downside, stopping out those shorts and then ruining late longs. That is definitely something we're looking forward to. What is going to confirm a rejection on a smaller time frame? What is going to confirm the continuation downwards? So we already know what the macro is looking like. We already know what the macro structure is looking like. The short term, it looks like we have developed a uptrending support right over here. So I'll be looking for this uptrending support line over here to be broken toward the downside. Any drop below here and a nice strong hourly close below here, I think that will confirm a continuation downwards. Again, we're looking for a loss of this support level, this 23,800 support, to actually get that structural confirmation of a new low, which is going to confirm a rejection from that range, okay? So a short-term reaction toward the downside will occur along the loss versus trend line. A confirmation of a rejection of 25.2K will occur on the loss of this prior low. Then we will start to continue downwards. Where can a continuation downward take us? We're looking for those prior levels. So supports over here, we're looking at 22,000, okay, 21,500, etc., all the way down to our last support, which is sitting around 19,200 if we do reject. Okay, guys, so definitely keep that in mind. But it does look like we're developing some degree of a rising, what you call a rising triangle, ascending triangle pattern, which of course is a bullish breakout pattern. This is bullish consolidation at resistance. This could definitely trigger this continuation upwards into a strong move and then a rejection toward the downside. Something that I think would and should occur for a strong reaction, but also something I think that the market would need to see at such a strong resistance to get such a strong reaction, and a strong enough reaction to get a macro reversal or a macro rejection at this point. Anyway, let me know what you think about that. Do you think a liquidity risk is going to happen? Do you think we're going to see a liquidation spike over here, stopping out a whole heap of shorts, then trapping a whole heap of longs before we continue down? Do you think we're just going to smash through and break upwards? Do you think we'll get that weekly close? Or do you think 25K has been retested so many times now that it's just lost all strength and we're going to see that reaction and rejection toward the downside immediately? Let me know what you think, because I think right now the probability between the three are slightly more in favor of the rejections toward the downside than for a direct break upwards. But as long as we start to continue to gain strength on the larger time frame, that breakout upwards should occur eventually, and I think when it does occur, it's going to be quite explosive. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. If you've got any questions, leave them down below. Go ahead and sign up to the Crypto Academy. You can find all information here. We do a 10-unit course to teach you guys how to trade, technical analysis, market patterns, candles, risk analysis, risk management, psychology, everything in here to bring you guys from new traders to advanced traders. At the moment, you can go ahead and contact us over here on Crypto Academy. Courses@gmail.com. We'll send you all the information. With that being said, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Thanks.